When we started to study the history of the LGBT community, we were shocked. In the old age, the modern concept of homosexuality didn't apply, and it was more accurate to speak of homosexual practices. In this time, the most common was bisexuality. Back then, marriage was not only an institution based on love and emotional support, it also meant to obtain benefits. Basically, they needed to have offspring to ensure the future in old age, by making political alliances and transferring wealth. Because of all this, marriage was an obligation, and exclusive homosexuality a luxury that very few could afford. Also in America, the people who played different roles and performed tasks that didn't correspond to the sex with which they were born with were called two-spirits. All this used to be the normal world, until the Black Death happened. After this, between 75 million to 200 million people died due to the pandemic. Because of this, people started to worry, and they needed reproduction. So, the only couple that in that time was seen useful for reproduction was a woman and a man.
We chose this topic since doing some research on our society and its problems, and this issue seemed very relevant to us, and many in the team felt that we needed to pay more attention and inform our community about this. Also teach them some of the things we do that we don't even realize and can assault and even violate human rights of the people in the LGBT community. Many of our posts were made by ourselves based on information that we got from pages of people in the community, and some others of worldwide statistics. Some others we took them from social networks or digital magazines that contain information about the subject, and some others about witnesses of the LGBT community.
When we posted stories in our account, we had a lot of success, saying it that way, because almost all of our followers saw them. But when we post like polls or questions, almost nobody answered something.
We didn't receive many direct messages because most of the comments were in the post, but these are some of the messages we received. One was from a page named Hope Bracelet that really liked our feed and even made us a promotional code for their merch. Also, there was one from a page that had a Pride merch, so they wanted us to buy their things, wear them, and send them pictures so they could promote us. But well, we didn't buy any of those things, but we were really grateful that people even made us promote codes to buy their things and support them.
What do you think about the LGBTQ community?
Well, I've always respected different sexual preferences, but I don't really know much about the differences between them.
Now, what do you think about the LGBTQ community?
Well, after the campaign, I now know more information about the differences between the sexual preferences and the difference mainly between the queer, because I didn't know what does queer mean.
Hola, ¿qué opinas de la comunidad LGBT?
Pues que están bien, que, o sea, yo los respeto, pero la verdad no estoy muy metida porque pues no conozco mucho.
¿Y si hiciéramos una página sobre este tema, lo seguirías?
Sí, para poder informarme.
Hola, ¿seguiste nuestra página luego de estos meses?
Creo que fue una campaña muy interesante y aprendí muchas cosas nuevas.
¿Y crees que cambió algo en ti, en tu forma de pensar?
Sí, ahora creo que tengo más información acerca de la comunidad y con esta información puedo como hablarle a la gente acerca de esto para volver que la escuela y que México sea más incluyente.
Do you know what is the difference between gender and sex?
I think there's no difference.
Okay, thank you. Do you know the difference between gender and sex?
After the campaign, I learned that one is what you've been born with, and the other one is with what you identified as.
Quería preguntarte, ¿qué opinas de la comunidad LGBT?
La verdad, no te podría dar una información, no lo sé.
¿No sabes qué es?
No, exactamente no.
Si yo hiciera una campaña en una red social que tú frecuentes, ¿la seguirías, la visitarías para informarte más sobre el tema?
Sí, claro, estoy abierta para saber y conocer.
Gracias.
Hola.
¿Sigues nuestra página More for Pride en Instagram?
Sí, sí la sigo.
¿Qué opinas de ella?
Que está muy completa, que me vino a dar más información de lo que yo no tenía conocimiento.
Muy bien. Y ahora que tienes conocimiento sobre este tema, ¿qué opinas sobre la comunidad LGBT?
Pues que es respetable de la personalidad y de las preferencias de cada persona.
¿Los apoyas?
Sí, claro.
Muy bien, gracias.
Throughout this campaign, we informed about the rights of the LGBT community because we wanted to demystify the stereotypes that our society has of them. Also, we wanted to be allies with the LGBT community in their fight for their fulfillment of human rights. We realized that this is a very complex subject and that it takes a lot more than 4 months of campaign to really make a change. This group has been marginalized from society since a very long time ago. So, new generations like us need to make an effort of changing our ways so we can influence the ones that come after us. Also, after our campaign, we realized that it is more difficult for adults to be more open-minded about the subject because they were educated differently. So it is more normal for that age group of our parents' generation and older to be more homophobic or ignorant about this. And we could notice it with the interviews. It was more hard for us to be able to find adults that were willing to express publicly their positive or negative opinion of this subject. As a team, we tried our best to make a significant effort in our immediate community, like our school, and we think that this model can be replicated and used in some other communities or states, or even in the whole country or the whole world. We know that we need to make a really great effort and work very hard so that in a few years, if more people sum up to this movement, this community can feel more integrated in society. Throughout this campaign, we informed about the rights of the LGBT community because we wanted to demystify the stereotypes that our society has of them. Also, we wanted to be allies with the LGBT community in their fight for their fulfillment of human rights. We realized that this is a very complex subject and that it takes a lot more than 4 months of campaign to really make a change.
From this project, I can conclude that it was a really great experience to create a campaign and make conscience in the minds of people, even older people, to make them realize that equality and respect and a dignified life, they are human rights and we are all human, so we deserve them. It was amazing and really surprising to realize that with a little bit of information from Instagram, many people can change their minds, and also that even if we do this project only in our school, it could have a greater impact if we did it on like the whole country or the whole world. And so we believe, and I believe personally, that our campaign worked and that we achieved our goal of creating a difference.
Campaign, I learned about certain things of the LGBTQ community that I wasn't aware of, and I also realized how we as students have an incredible power of making a change. And we now know that small actions can make a great contribution to society, and I believe that we made a change with our campaign, and it was a wonderful experience.
Making this campaign was really shocking for me because I realized that even that we're in a modern world and that everything has been changing in the last 30 years, people continue making comments really homophobic. And I also saw that it's not the same to say that we are all equal and that we are all human beings and that we have our human rights and whatever, when we don't really follow that thought, because we need to act like that. So something that I really like about doing this project, this challenge with my team and with my classmates, is that I realize that I don't need to be connected in a direct way with the LGBT community to make a change, because there's no rule for looking for the right thing.
At the beginning of this project, I believe I had an idea of what the LGBT community was. But when we started working on the project and we started investigating about them and we started making posts about them, I realized that the community I believe I knew was much more bigger than I thought, and that there's still a lot of people that does not understand that those persons are part of us and that they deserve the same rights and things that everybody has, because that's not like a sickness, it's part of daily life. Everybody has the right to love whoever they want.
In this challenge, I realized how limited and discriminated this community is, and also all the change we can do just by informing us and informing our surroundings, like our friends and family. I also noticed that you can support and help a community. Either way, if you are part of them or you are outside of the community. I learned that you can make a real change just by little things.